President Trump is zeroing in on Dominion voting machines, Dominion voting systems used in 28 states across the country, including battleground states, Arizona, Georgia, Michigan, Nevada, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. A January 2019 report from the Texas Secretary of State found a number of issues with Dominion's Democracy Suite 5.5A machine, the same model used, for example, in Pennsylvania. One of the troubling findings by the Secretary of State in Texas was that the voting machine was the voters' inability to check and retain a straight party ballot while no voting a race. Another issue, Dominion's election management system was error-prone and, quote-unquote, non-intuitive, making it difficult for jurisdictions to master. Even more concerning, the scanner and the tabulator are subject to paper jams. And in order to clear those jams, protective seals had to be broken, which allowed poll workers to see voter choices. The Texas Secretary of State's office ultimately denied the use of Dominion voting systems in
beyond the margin that I need in Pennsylvania or Michigan to overturn the vote there. We're up to about 623,000 unlawful ballots in Pennsylvania and about 320 unlawful ballots in Michigan. And in Michigan, of course, we have a couple of extraordinary witnesses, one of whom was a Democrat who worked for 30 years for the city of Detroit, who will explain that she started getting trained in how to cheat in September of 2020. They'll also testify to 100,000 ballots being shipped in about 4 in the morning after they had stopped counting. And they got into a panic because they thought they had made up the lead and Trump was still ahead by 120,000 votes. So they brought these ballots in cars that had trucks that had out-of-state license plates. They piled them on the tables, and from the witnesses that were there, from whom we have affidavits, every single vote was for Biden, and the ballots looked totally fraudulent. Only one person voted for, rest of the ballot empty. Nobody bothered to look or check whether or not the envelope was valid. They just threw it away immediately. There was no Republican observer, as the law of Michigan requires, and it's a misdemeanor not to do it. So I can't see these 100,000 votes standing, plus about 140,000 more that were counted deliberately out of the sight of any Republican who could check the validity of the ballot. And I think that number will go up. When we began in Pennsylvania, we only had like about 130. We're now at 632,000. This was a stolen election. Well, I know the phony elites don't want to hear it, but this was a stolen election. The same pattern exists in Nevada, Arizona, Georgia, Wisconsin. And here's where they got screwed up. The margins were much bigger than they anticipated. They were figuring they had to make up a couple 100,000 votes in Pennsylvania, maybe 100,000 in Michigan, maybe 80 or 90,000 in Wisconsin. Now they're looking at numbers like 800,000, 300,000, 400,000. They had to do plenty of cheating in the middle of the night in order to catch up. And that's why they kept the Republicans out.